Yeah, there's always going to be a slight awkwardness because there's a slight barrier, cultural barrier between two people. My name is Sahil. I was born in India and then I moved to New Zealand when I was around 7, around there. I'll tell you a funny story. So when I was working in a call center, trying to get like extra cash while I was studying at university, because you know, you need extra cash. You're not working full time. And I was like, well, I got to sell newspapers over the phone. Now, I can say my real name, Sahil, but what I just used to say is like, hi, my name is Simon, you know, for the purposes of just getting through and making it more relatable to the individual. And I think that was a lot easier for people to swallow, in my opinion, because that's what other people in the call center used to do as well. Because when you're over the phone, there's a lot of you don't know who's on the other line, but the only thing you know about them is their name. And through that name, you think of what the person looks like, their interest. You put the stereotypes in your brain. And it's like, well, you kind of, let's reverse that. Let's give them a reason to buy the paper and make me some more money while I'm at university. But that wasn't because I was, you know, quote unquote, ashamed of my name or any way of that. It's more like being smart about your environment. I could be a social justice warrior and keep being like, no, it's Sahil. And they're like, oh, Sahil? No, it's Sahil. And then get over the hurdle. That already creates the barrier and then try to sell the paper, you know? It's just, you gotta play to your environment. That's what I kind of learned from that. And it's like, that's what I kind of take on board. Yeah, because sometimes there's no point in trying to correct the individual because there's nothing to gain from it. So you're only going to meet them for 2 seconds, so let's just carry on. If I were to say it how my grandparents would say it, or how my mom used to say it before she moved to New Zealand, it would be Sahil. A beautiful bank side by the river. That's what Sahil means. From my experience, that people don't usually get it right on the first time. Well, I remember when I was working, my boss kept on getting my name wrong, and he's like a very senior guy in the business, and I think I corrected him once. I was like, Sahil. And he's a very old guy, and he's like, no, he kept saying Sahil, Sahil, and I'm like, okay, well, listen, it's not gonna bother. But I think as I got towards the end of my tenure at EY or at Orion Health, it's more like, nope, this is who I am. I need to own up to it. This is my name, and if they're getting it wrong, I have the right to correct my name. So it's taking more ownership of that. And I think that's a battle that you kind of face kind of growing up, really, isn't it? Like, you're a bit hesitant on asserting yourself or correcting your name because you don't want to offend the other person. But I think a lot of people take that in respect. It's just you being you and owning up to yourself and identifying with what you are. And I think that's the way I kind of take it from a personal interaction. Open and receptive. That's it. That's really it. Nothing too grand, but just being open and receptive to learning and saying it correctly. If they're getting it wrong, that is. Yeah. That's how I'd want it. Yeah.